Hello, the greaters. I hope that you guys are good and well, and that everything as you're in great health is falling into place and you just understanding everything. Right. So today we're gonna be doing the fourth lesson of our number pattern sequences and series. Right. So today we're checking at the sum to infinity of a convergent series. Right. So now one would want to ask, okay, now what is a convergent series, or what does convergent mean? No, so don't be worried about that and be stressed about that word. So convergent simply means that it comes to a definite limit, right? So it comes to a definite limit, right? So it means that this series comes, or the sum of the series comes to a certain limit, to a certain number, that once it gets to a certain number, it is no longer continuing, right? So that would mean that if the sum of the series is converging at 1, it will mean that even if we sum to 1 million, those numbers, or that would be equals to 1 no matter what happens, right? Because the limit is now 1, right? I hope that this will make sense as I continue to explain it, right? Okay, so the sum to infinity is actually derived from a geometric series, right? So just know that each and every time we're dealing with a convergent series, or a convergent number series, we are dealing with a geometric series. So this one is derived from a geometric series, right? Just to note that there. Perfect. Okay. So now let us continue to just make examples there, right? So let us take that we have a series here, which is 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 14, or 1 over 16, sorry, right? So let us check that we have this series here, right? And now they want us to calculate the sum to infinity. Before we get there, let me try and kind of explain this issue of numbers coming to a definite value, right? Okay, so for example, let us say that, okay, let's calculate what is the sum of the first term here. So the sum of the first term here would be equals to 1 over 2, right? Which is equals to 0.5, is it? Okay, right. That is still simple as yet, okay? I hope that we're still together, right? So let us say now we want to calculate the sum of the first two series, or sequences, right? So that would be equals to 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. And when you put that into your calculator, you get that that is actually equals to 0.75, right? Okay, so you can see that, okay, we are progressing, right? So now let us check the sum of the first three terms. So that would be 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8. And when you put that into your calculator, you'll get something like 0.875, right? Okay, so on, when you calculate the sum of the first four terms, that will be 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 16. And you'd see that when you sum that up, you'll get something like a 0.93, right? A 0.93, right? So you can follow on and just calculate the sum, but there's just something that I want to bring here for you guys to see. You can see that as we are adding these numbers, they are all coming to a number which is 1. They are approaching the value of 1. You'd see that if you want to do the sum of the first 5 terms, that will be like 0 or 0.96875. So you can see that we are slowly, as the numbers are continuing, as we are continuing to sum up, these numbers are actually approaching the value of 1, right? So that is what we call, or that is why we say that a series is converging, because it is coming to a certain number, right? Okay, I hope that this will make sense as we go on, right? So there is a formula for us to calculate a sum to infinity, or the sum of a convergent series, right? So the formula would be the sum to infinity would be actually equals to a over 1 minus r. As simple as that, right? So, but there is a rule there that you must know about the r. You must always know that for a converging or a convergent number series, you must always make sure, or you must know that r must be in between -1 and 1. So now there is the rule, or there is the requirement for a converging series, that the r, which is the ratio here, must be between -1 and 1. So it will mean that we are allowed to get a 0,5, because we know that a 0,5 is less than a 1 and is also greater than 0, or -1, right? So I hope that makes sense, right? So for you to calculate the sum to infinity, you simply just put this. So a would actually be the value of the first term, right? As we learned from the previous lessons. So this will be the value of the first term in the series, right? So that will be 1/2, right? So for example, if they say calculate the sum to infinity, so our first point would be, okay, now what is r? Because we know that for us to be able to use the sum to infinity, we must first make sure that r must be between -1 and 1, right? So if we check that, okay, r will be equals to, so remember, for us to calculate r in a geometric number pattern, we must take term 2 divided by term 1, right? Okay, so when we do that, that will actually be 1/4, right, divided by 1/2, right? So when you put that into your calculator, you're gonna get that, okay, r, so let me check that out. So that will be 1/4 divided by 1/2. So you'd get that, okay, r would be actually be equals to 1/2. So you can see that, okay, 1/2 is somewhat between these two numbers. And is this requirement fulfilled? Yes, it's because this r is between these two numbers. Therefore, we can confirm, okay, now this is a converging number pattern or series, right? So we know that, okay, since r is equals to 1/2, then we can use this formula now, right? So, okay, sum to infinity would be equals to a. What is the value of a? That is 1/2 over 1 minus 1/2. So you simply just punch that into your calculator and you get your answer, right? Okay, so let me try getting that. So that will be 1/2. So that will be, okay, 1/2 over 1/2. So you can see that 1 minus a half, that would be another 1/2. So 1/2 divided by 1/2, oh, that will be now equals to 1, right? So I hope that this makes sense. So you can see that, okay, this was approaching to 1, and the answer we're getting for sum to infinity, we'll see that we're actually going to get a 1, right? So that is just what sum to infinity is all about. I hope that this made a lot of sense. And what will now assist you is to get to answer a lot of questions so that you can understand more of what the sum to infinity is all about, right? I hope that this was helpful, and continue to share with others so that they get the same information that you got and they are helped as well, right? Thank you.